Thank you for tuning in to the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast with Falicia Fracassi, CEO of a chain of beauty lounges and medical spas in multiple states. She even self-funded her real estate portfolio. And now, here's your host, Beauty Boss Millionaire, Falicia Fracassi.
Welcome back to Beauty Boss Millionaire. I'm your host, Falicia Fracassi, and we're actually going to be moving on to season 2 called The CEO Mindset. And in this series, we're going to switch our mindset from this 9-to-5 person that we're used to doing for years and years and years to an actual business owner and a CEO that actually runs your company. Because there has to be a mindset shift before you just dive into being a CEO. There is like a transitioning process that you have to go into. And I'm going to help guide you through that. Now that we've kind of set up the business and things to look out for, our mentality along this process needs to really change to be successful. And we're going to first start by identifying why is our mindset so, low. And we may not think that our mindset's low until we actually start to realize all those fears that come into place. And those fears could come from family history and this type of mentality, especially for people that have come from nothing. I see this a lot where they don't think that they can do it, or they don't think that they can even have it, or some people don't even think that they deserve to be a business owner. And it's really sad because you do deserve it. You do deserve to live in the best of places, the nicest homes, to drive in a safe, decent vehicle. And really just switching from that janitor mentality, nothing wrong with anyone that is a janitor. I admire the janitor position. I actually work that position regularly at my store. I just did it yesterday, actually. But there comes a time in our life where God wants to elevate us. But it's up to us to get on the elevator. It's up to us to switch the mentality. There's some people that will never step on the elevator and go up to the place of wealth, to the place of entrepreneurship, to owning their own business because of these fears and this mindset. See, one thing about the mind is that it's very powerful. If you think about it, it really is. It controls every aspect of how you think, what you do in the morning, how you think of yourself. There's a quote that says, "As a man thinketh, so is he." Meaning that however you view yourself and however you see yourself, that's who you are. So it's time to change that mentality, especially like I said before, if you come from a place of poverty, a place of not having enough. Even a dysfunctional family can make you think twice, can I really do this because no one else has done this before? Or even let's just say you do come from a wealthy family, a well-to-do family. Then you have this fear of failure. You have this fear of, oh man, my parents are going to be disappointed. They wanted me to do this and look, I messed it up. So there's all types of fears that come from different walks of backgrounds of whatever life that you've come from. But it's important that you confront those fears. And one way to kind of change the mindset starts with this think big attitude. And I really mean that you have to dream big and you cannot allow your fears of your mind to control you. You can be your own worst enemy sometimes. You have to almost have this I don't give a beep attitude. You almost have to have this I don't give a crap attitude. You really do. You have to have this mentality like, I don't care. I'm going to do this. You have to be almost strong-willed. If your personality is not type A, that's fine. Type A personalities, they go after anything they see and they get it. They don't stop working until they get what they want. But there's ways that different personality traits, you may be more passive. You need to just grab it and take control of it. And I really want to talk about this because I see it in so many people's eyes when I first start to work with people. And, sometimes they ask me to mentor them. And I see this strong sense of like fear based on their mentality. Even like, for example, when I work with people that are working with me, like they're even scared of me. And I'm like the nicest person. I think I'm one of the nicest people in the world. I might come across as strong. I'm literally like 115 pounds and I lead my life with love and grace. I try my best to be kind to everyone. Sometimes people don't even know I'm the boss, actually, because I'm not one of those people that walks around with a big ego and bossing people around and I'm very rough. That's not my style. I've learned over the years that doesn't work. So why be that person? I don't like that person. I don't like working for someone like that, where they're full of pride. They don't know how to talk to people correctly. Anyways, that's a whole nother episode, actually. Do you have unwanted facial hair or underarm hair? Don't wax, don't tweeze. Stop in Fracassi Lashes and ask for laser hair removal. 6 sessions for only $200 for the lip or chin. Bikini and underarm only $300. Fracassi Lashes in the Gray Small, 225 Lash. All technicians are laser certified and overseen by Dr. Gary's.
Welcome back to the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast, with daily on-the-go episodes packed with testimonies and business tips to help you create financial freedom through entrepreneurship. Hosted by the owner of Fracassi Lashes and the Blow Dry Lounge, the Beauty Boss Millionaire herself, Falicia Fracassi.
Going back to this mentality, and the way that you can change that, is I would go to some of the nicest places that I couldn't even afford at the time. And this is something that I actually learned from my mentor, who was like my mother, Dr. Rosetta Gary's. You'll hear me reference her a lot. She is one of the first plastic surgeons in my family to be successful. And she kind of just taught me this. And we would just dress up. We would go to New York City, dress up really fancy. We look in a magazine, how things should be done, how people should dress. And we would just go to these places where meals were like $1,000, plates were $500. Obviously, when you're there, you would study the aesthetics, study the people, study what they look like. What are their conversations about? Sometimes it takes for you to just strip yourself bare down and start to rebuild who you are and who you want to be. Because in life, sometimes we're thrown in situations where it's really just kind of we've learned to adapt. But in all actuality, you can rebuild yourself at any point in time. And that all starts with kind of taking in places. And what I mean by going into being exposed to wealth and nice places is, say, for example, the Waldorf Astoria, which is not even that fancy anymore to me, but let's just say really fancy places that people of wealth go to. Go there, treat yourself, maybe have a budget, and I'm not going to spend any more than $50 on something. It could just be a drink, or you take in the scenery. It could just be a small meal. I'm really just being really honest because I want people to understand that you don't have to go all these places and spend all this money. But the point is to take in the scenery, be around those successful people that are in that room that are paying those $500 to $1,000 plates. Go to the nicest resorts. Go to the most expensive places if you can locally and check out the aesthetics. Look at the mindset of the people. Look at how they are and start to build yourself up how you want to rebrand yourself. I'm not saying be fake and phony. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that you can pick up some things along the way that you didn't have before. And a lot of times when I see people come from the inner city, they're kind of nervous about being around different types of people. I'm used to being around all different races, and I'm very comfortable. And I love being a strong Black woman. The reason why I'm mentioning this part is because I've walked into places where I am the only Black person in the room of CEOs. I've walked in hallways where people were in the elevator on the way up, all multimillionaires, and here I was only making less than $100,000 a year. But that did not make anyone better. I have this mentality that you're not better than me and I'm not better than you type of mentality. We're just different. And you need to have that same mentality. A lot of people operate in fear, and there's this I'm not, like the Cinderella mentality, like Cinderella was the most beautiful of all, but yet there she was scrubbing floors, dealing with all the other ones, but she was so beautiful and she was so in fear. And sometimes that's us. That's who we are. I don't think anyone's better than me, not even a celebrity. That's the confidence you need to have, because they aren't. They may just have a little bit of more coins, but that doesn't mean they're better than you. And sometimes the mentality of people, they think that there's no way, I couldn't own a business, or no, that wouldn't be me, or my family's never done that before, or I don't even know how. But you need to think on a large scale that you are that bitch. No, I'm just joking. But you need to think on a large scale that you are the Don Juan, that you are an awesome person. You don't necessarily need to protrude it on the outside, and so it's obvious to other people that you think you're all that. But inside, there should be that confidence. Just like in The Wizard of Oz, everyone had everything that they needed, but they were all scared running around the whole movie, and they all had what they needed the whole time. All Dorothy had to do was tap her shoes. The lion, he was the lion and scared, was a coward. And I can go down each character. They all possessed what they had within them, but they weren't tapping into that. And my point is, if it takes for you to go around places that you need to be around to obtain that confidence, then go to those places and unlock it within, or simply just tell yourself that you are the bomb. Speak those positive affirmations in your life. All right, so we're out of time. I love talking about this. Stay tuned, because up next we're talking fear and how to put it in its coffin, and how fear and anxiety can paralyze you. It's the kryptonite, especially if you weren't born into money. We're going to get into that next. Thanks for tuning into the Beauty Boss Millionaire with your girl, Falicia Fracassi.
That's it for today. Tune in tomorrow for the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast. And don't forget to follow the Beauty Boss Millionaire, Falicia Fracassi, on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Beauty Boss Millionaire.